where do you get a baby at Walmart?
Whoa!
You get a baby at Walmart. And how do you get one at Walmart, Dave?
Well, actually, what you have is you get paged by by the emergency response system, and get called to the restroom, the ladies' room, where a woman is actually having a child prematurely in a stall, and has sadly left the baby in the toilet for others to find.
Wow.
And this lady and some other people came in. This is at the Walmart in Bristow, Oklahoma, folks, where this group of people literally saved the life of this child, this brand new baby. She described them as seeing feet under the stall, a woman, and then a blood, and a woman standing there with umbilical hanging between her legs. And then she saw the baby, and they went to work on the baby, saved the baby's life with the help of EMS, who got there pretty quickly. But they had to keep working and trying to resuscitate the baby and warm it and everything else for several minutes before EMS got there, and before the baby took its first breath and let out a cry.
I think we can all agree that they were doing the Lord's work.
Yes.
No debate there.
That would be no debate. And so we have a very courageous group, and sadly, the only one who seemed to be unaffected emotionally by the whole scene was the mother. She declared that she didn't want the baby saved, that she was going to have it aborted anyway.
Luckily, she didn't have the baby in Virginia. Otherwise, she might have had her way with
she probably
Democrat Governor Northam
shoved its head under the water, and everything would have been.
Yeah, that was what was amazing. Was when they went to save the baby, she said, "Oh, don't worry about it." The mother said, "Don't worry about it. I was going to abort it anyway."
Correct.
Oh, in that case, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Right. And
so, what more do we know about the mother? Background.
I have found out nothing. I frankly don't much care.
It's a general devaluing of human life. Apparently, there's nothing that registers in her mind that there's any value to this human being.
Well, we know that she's been nominated by the Democratic Party and Greta Thunberg and AOC for a humanitarian prize. Saving the planet, attempting to, before mean conservatives came in.
I think she has
ruined it all.
family. I think she has other children. I think this was a later child. I think she has at least one or two from the one article that I read.
I hope they throw a parade for those first responders and those employees. And
that's the point. They are heroes. And happen to be in the right place at the right time.
And there has to be a criminal prosecution on this. There's no doubt.
There should be.
Well, there must be.
What law has she broken though? Because she had
child endangerment.
obviously her attitude is
Child endangerment.
murder.
If the baby was actually drowning or was being made cold, it could be.
Well, couldn't she argue? I mean, this was not planned.
Murder.
She was not planning to perhaps have
Yeah,
the
but
child in the stall?
she gave absolutely no aid to the child. And outside of the abortion chamber, that is illegal. As soon as you step into the abortion chamber, all of a sudden you're in a vacuum chamber, and everything can that's illegal anywhere else.
So she doesn't have equal rights as an abortionist would have.
Here's my question.
Correct.
Okay.
Actually,
that makes sense then.
Correct.
Okay. Do we blame the governor of Virginia for being complicit in that death by encouraging it publicly?
Well, yes.
I wouldn't, but I could see how someone reasonably could.
No. Yes, absolutely.
I could see the reason.
Blood is on his hands for every death that happens afterward, because he could have done something about it. He is to blame. Mm-hmm. He is part of the conspiracy. He's part of the whole cabal who is orchestrating this and making it happen. Yeah. And it is a criminal organization. It is a criminal enterprise that they're running. They're just doing it with uniforms and badges and color of law. and this is where I think we need to have a discussion about what do we, the people, do when government usurps its authority, doesn't do what they're required to do on the
I think
flip
Dan
side.
Fisher has a solution with the Christian Party. Is that the case?
Oh.
Don't know.
So,
Okay.
but what do we as the community, as you know, what do we have right to do?
Right.
We frankly have not lost any of our rights to act as a community and punish murderers. We have not. There is nothing that says only they may do it.
Now,
only the people.
Let me clarify. When I said the governor of Virginia, he was one who called for what we're supposed to do when somebody's having a baby they don't
Correct.
want, and he went into great detail. It was on a radio program.
Right.
Here's me comfortable,
right.
and a discussion would occur.
So here's what I want to say: when the terrible mass shootings happened in El Paso, everybody was quick to say it's Trump's fault. His rhetoric caused
Right.
it. Now, if they can find some kind of a narrative that somehow Trump encouraged this, I've not seen it, but we clearly see the narrative between the governor of Virginia and
Right.
this woman
Yes.
in Bristow.
And that's the only reason I wouldn't make the claim that he was responsible in any way for it, because I abhor it so much when the left uses this tactic, as a club against the right. Well, every bad thing that happened, I can find some, removed, 17 times removed, 0.0001% relation,
Except
analogous to what has occurred with the conservative. Oh, you once had a graphic on one ad that had a target on it.
Except
Therefore you want genocide. It makes no sense at all.
There's a big difference here. The governor of Virginia directly called for murder.
That's true.
Okay? Now,
The connection here could be
possession
much
of
better
guns,
made.
possession
No
of
argument.
guns is at least one step removed from somebody misusing those guns.
Absolutely.
The fighting for the right to possess guns is completely different than fighting
and
for the
there's-
right to murder.
There's no question that you could more rationally make the connection between Governor Ralph Northam, the blackface wearing, of course, racist Democrat, abortionist, genocidal maniac, okay, and some lady trying to murder her baby in a stall. Absolutely, logically. I just prefer not to say that anyone else should have my view. I'm not proselytizing the view. I don't engage in that sort of thing. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't. It's far more logical to blame Ralph Northam for this than it is to blame President Trump for any shooting or gun owners.
Whether
for
or
any
not
shooting.
she knew anything of Northam is another matter. If you want to blame Northam, the real thing is Northam has done worse than nothing to change the discussion and bring about justice.
Yeah, he
for
said
the,
that born
for the
children
weakest
should
among
be
us.
executed potentially. I mean,
Yes.
I don't think we can say that enough. I mean, if you're not outraged by that, are you even human? What is wrong with you?
Yes,
It's
that's the question.
inciting violence, is what
We've
it
had
is.
we've had 40 or 50 years of dehumanizing the population to where babies are not
Correct.
human until we call them human. In the same way that they decide whatever they want is going to be whatever
Well,
they want.
and-
They called uninsured insured. They called insured uninsured. My question to the children has always been: if you call the tail of a dog a leg, what is it?
If you're a Democrat,
And
watch
it's
out,
like-
AARP card
If you-
holders. The Democrats are coming for you next.
The answer is: if you call the tail of a dog a leg, it's a tail until you try to walk on it.
I got to tell you guys.